Welcome back to another episode of Omni Garage. So Glenn and I have been to SEMA 2024. This is getting quite old, but we love SEMA. First time going, but we just love SEMA.
SEMA was only 3 weeks ago for us, so and we were allowed to reminisce a little bit.
And we caught up with Pan. We made a big video with Pan. He talked us through all of his line, his whole proprietary blend line of the best of the best. And so we are here going to test Clean by Pan, his Rinseless wash, to see if these proprietary blends are the best of the best.
This isn't the first time you've used this though, is it?
No, it's not the first time. This is also not the first time I've done a Rinseless wash. We have made heaps of Rinseless washes, or heaps of Rinseless wash videos, and we're sort of searching for the Rinseless wash that Glenn and I like the best. So we have tried...
We've tried everything. DIY V1, V2, FinLab, 2 versions of it. We've tried...
just one version.
No.
V3 is the only version.
V3, okay.
Yep.
We've tried Rapid Rinseless Wash, Koch Chemie. We've tried Armour Detail Hero. We've tried McKee's. We've tried O&R.
We've tried the Rinseless King, Eddie himself. Is it Nemesis? Yeah, Nemesis.
Yep. We almost tried an unreleased product from Guerrero's Garage.
Yep. We tried to get that into the country, but that wasn't allowed. But yep, I would be really keen to try theirs. And so now we're on number 8, which is Pan's one.
We probably missed a couple there too, so this would probably be close to the 10th that we've tried. But yeah, 8 on the channel, I'd say. Before
we even go into this video, this product, I'm going to give it to Pan. I think it's one of the best smelling Rinseless washes there is. And I really like FinLab V3. I really like that cologne type smell. Mm-hmm. Have a smell, everybody, because I think he has got the best of the best scent here.
Oh, that's great.
What do you think the smell is?
You get a huge whiff of pineapple and like exotic fruits.
You watched this video where you released the scent smell, didn't you?
Well, no, because I'd have to rattle off like 16 different scents.
So Pan basically sat down with a perfumist and they went through all this random stuff and they just picked a whole heap of scents. Scents no longer are just kiwi fruit flavour or kiwi fruit smell or strawberry smell. They are like blends of blends of blends. And so
he said something like pineapple, kiwi, star fruit,
hint of lemon,
and then it just went on and on.
Some other things. It's just a really good tropical smell. It's really refreshing.
Primary smell would be pineapple.
Yeah, primary
smell. If you had to narrow it down to one.
Yeah. And so this is a bit of a... So Rinseless washes come in sort of a whole heap of different types of forms. So you've got like your real clean ones, which are just surfactant based, leave nothing behind. And then you have your really heavy polymer type Rinseless washes where they have polymers behind. So this is a blend from what I believe where it contains a group of surfactants and a polymer. The surfactants are going to do that breaking down the dirt, that emulsification type process, and the polymers are going to help with that encapsulation and basically encapsulate the dirt, lift it off the surface so we can come along with our sponge with a nice clean cleaning process and hopefully reduce the ability to mar and scratch. This will leave polymers behind, and what else am I trying to say? And it will also, the polymers will also encapsulate the minerals in our water. Our TDS is about 20 parts per million, so not too aggressive, but it will encapsulate those minerals, not necessarily remove them, so it's not going to drop your TDS, but it's going to encapsulate those minerals, take them out of solution so that if we were washing in the sun or if we let it dry, that hopefully we would prevent our ability to get water spots.
And I think important to frame this up, the car behind us that we're washing today, this is a 2007 Subaru WRX. It has been ceramic coated with G-Technic, XO, V4 and CSL. And this was done 4 years ago, but it's held up really well. So
those are a test pilot for multiple years.
Correct.
It's getting ready for another refresh. This car has got all kinds of spray sealants on it. It's got all kinds of stuff.
Test pilot number 1. Test pilot number 2.
So this car is relatively clean, so we're not really going to get a good gauge of its cleanability. I did leave the famous microfiber behind.
That's all right. I'm thinking we can find another.
You've got a microfiber, so we'll do the Eddie test at how well it is at cleaning and pulling the dirt out of the microfiber because we want to see that. So yeah, we're just going to slap this on. We're going to talk about how good it is how good is the slickness, how good is it cleaning, how good is it removing dirt out of the microfiber. How easy is it to dry? What's it like when the polymer spots are on there and how easy those are to remove? And we'll guide you through that. We're not going to make a decision today on which Rinseless wash we think is the best. We will leave that for another video when we sit down and we have a bit of a yarn over that, but let's get into using this. So this gets mixed exactly the same as sort of the general standard 256:1. We have roughly 2 gallons of water in this bucket, and I'm going to put 1 ounce of product in here
We've got a couple of our mitts in there as well, or our sponges.
So these are the Rag Company sponges, which is, they're a really nice sponge. 1 ounce of product to 2 gallons of water.
Put that in.
So you can tell that this is a polymer based one because you can see how milky it is.
Yeah, it's a dead giveaway for a rinseless wash. That milkiness generally is a high polymer. And then what we do is we generally have a bottle hanging off the bucket there, and we just dunk it in to fill it rather than having to do a dilution factor in there as well. Beauty about doing this, you can do it inside, you can do it outside. We've got warm water in the bucket. It's not particularly cold, but when you can, why not? And then as Glenn's going to do there, he's just going to dunk that in the bucket. This is the first time we've used this bottle in a rinseless wash setting. So this is the Prespray bottle. It's got a nice dual action sprayer. Just trying something a little bit different today.
I hate these bottles and I hate these sprayers.
Oh well, get used to it. That's what we got today.
And so we have had a lot of comments in the videos that we do not do enough pre-spray. People really like that you soak this down, you really get the surface really wet. So I'm gonna soak the hell out of it because that'll keep some viewers happy. God. You can see it running down the paint because I've got a bit of Eddie's detail spray on there, so that's kudos to him. Look how well that's working. This told you is junk.
You've obviously talked it down way too much. You've cracked the sprayer. Look, you're spraying yourself. Look,
I have. No, that was already cracked.
No, it wasn't cracked because I used it yesterday.
See.
Oh, you've ruined the bottle.
Ruin the bottle.
Okay, well what we're going to have to do is you're going to have to stop there.
No, I'm going to keep using it just to tell everyone this is garbage.
We'll just grab this one.
Tell Matt Moorman that you're going to punt this in the trash.
Matt Moorman's about to come out with stainless tips for that. Uncrackable.
Yeah. Well, good. He needs to, because clearly, like, I'm the fat guy. I got no strength.
And you cracked my tip. I have been using that for years. No issues. User error. Anywho.
Right, are people happy that that's well soaked now? People say, oh, you use too much. I don't want to get your carpet wet.
Oh, it'll dry. So what we can see on here is the Detail Co. spray sealant is doing a pretty good job because we did some reasonable beating on there. So we should get some really good slickness out of this just based on.
And the next thing people are really unhappy about is that you're meant to get your sponge to the point where it's dripping. People thought that I was getting that too much. I would get that to there. Is that still dripping? I bet you if I squeeze it, it's still dripping. So people wanted that to be a little bit more wet. How
I would stop there. Yeah, I think that's enough. You don't want to.
Okay, well that's dripping by itself.
Yeah, that's fine. That's good.
Okay. And then really light pressure. We didn't explain that in the last video. So the good thing about the sponge, right, and I think this is what people fail to realize here, is that the sponge has got slits in it. 2 reasons for that. The dirt's going to go in between, the large particles are going to go in between the slits. But also, if I do push down on here, it's going to conform, or I think that's the right word, to the surface.
Yep.
And it's going to alleviate the ability of pressure spots. So you can apply a little bit more pressure here because it's not rigid,
We'll
right?
contour to the surface, correct.
And then you flip the sponge, you go again. And actually, I don't have the, I didn't bring the clear sponge, but you would see dirt on here. And the idea is that the dirt would then be pulled out of the sponge into the bucket so that we have a nice clean sponge ready to go again. But we'll use a white or a light color microfiber at the end too.
So this is the second time you've used this. Like, what are you kind of feeling? Initial impression. Slickness is obviously the first impression you're probably going to get.
So slickness is a really hard thing to talk about, right?
Yeah. Subjective.
So when I was talking to Ivan about rinseless washing, he said that slickness is something that we perceive between, I guess, the hand, the sponge, and the paint, and the product in between. But that's not necessarily what the panel is perceiving as being slick. And so this product is relatively slick. Now, for me to compare slickness, I'd have to have these side by side. I'd have to have what I think is one of the slickest, like FinLab, and I'd put that on the panel, and I would compare this to this one here. I think I've done it, so I relatively have a rough idea. I think when we're talking about a top 5 type products, the slickness is all relatively equal. So I think this is just as slick as FinLab. I think this is just as slick as but just about as slick as that
Yeah.
EV over there, mate.
Well, that's been cleaned with the Detail Co Neutral soap yesterday, and I've really enjoyed it. How much time I've used it?
How much tire dressing did you put on that car?
It has
Too much on there.
It hasn't been levelled, but it has the Armour Detail Tyre Plus.
Well, that's a good tire dressing.
It is.
Anyway, so this product is just as slick as Finlab V3. It's just as slick as Ivan's V2 DIY Rinseless. It's just as slick as Eddie's. I mean, these are all pretty close, and you're splitting hairs when you put them on a panel side by side. I think this is good. So we're going to let this dry, and we'll let this dry in the glass. You can see where I've wiped it. You'll see that these will develop polymer spots. I don't think these are as aggressive polymer spots as what we see with something like Finlab. I think Finlab does generate pretty bad polymer spots.
I don't think the polymer spots are a big deal to me though, because what you've got to remember is we are testing generally our process. We're not testing multiple different processes, you know, how someone would use this in a mobile detailer capacity versus how you use it in your garage versus what it's like in 30 degrees Celsius or 0 degrees Celsius. We're using it in our conditions, in our process. So polymer spots for me are not a big deal, because what are we going to do when we get polymer spots? Or before we get polymer spots?
You're going to wipe it off.
You're
going to use your drying aid to wipe it off.
Correct.
I think people do get upset with polymer spots, A, because they think that they're water spots to start with. So get that out of your mind. It's not. Those are minerals that have been encapsulated. The second thing that people get upset is that if they're cleaning outside or you're a mobile detailer, the drying of that product on the surface can be quite hard for those polymer spots to be removed. And so I do get that. The top 5 that I keep talking about, I don't think those products are really hard to remove water spots. I let it dry on the surface and I wipe it off with a towel. You can reactivate the water spots by adding more rinses off there if they are a little tougher. But
yeah, the polymer spots to me aren't a big deal, purely because of the fact that we're always going to come behind with an additional product, a drying aid, and make sure they're removed.
And what I'm finding is one of the most important things that people are thinking about, and especially in the comments, is not really how slick the product is, but people are really concerned about how easy the product dries off the surface. Okay, so I don't know, let's just re-wet one of these surfaces with your terrible sprayer
that you broke. Yep.
And I'm going to wet that, and I'll grab your drying towel. Right, this is super wet, yeah?
Yep.
And I would have wiped this down.
Like really wet.
Just like I usually would. Grab my clean drying towel. And let's see how easy it is to dry. Because people are saying that Finlab, well, Finlab is actually really hard to dry. I don't like it because it's you know, it's tough to dry off. No, that was one wipe.
Second towel.
No, I've just flipped the same towel.
Oh, you just flipped the same towel? Yeah, no, that's not hard to dry. There is no streaking there whatsoever after that first wipe. And look, that's how you can use a rinseless wash like this as well. You can do panel by panel. You can go and do your spray, your clean, and your dry. And I mean, that's probably the way I'd use it. If I was in really harsh conditions outside, I would go and do it like that rather than work our way around the whole car. We have the ability though, in a controlled environment like this, out of the sun, in a controlled temperature, to work around the whole vehicle. But we also are coming behind with drying aid as well, which is always going to remove those polymer spots.
So I think that is really easy to dry. So if you're worried about drying ability, this is probably one of the better ones. I think a couple of things to consider when you're drying a car. What's your humidity level like? And what is your outside conditions like that? Or what is your environment like you're doing it? So if the humidity was really high, we know that we have a real hard time drying products. So like amplified, beam maker, that type of stuff is really hard to dry. Our humidity is, I don't know, what's the humidity today, Mr. iWatch?
I can tell you.
I got an iWatch too, but I don't have humidity.
You don't have humidity? So humidity...
We have quite bad humidity. Like we're up there. What are we, 60, 70% humidity?
I'm struggling to find out here. Here we go. We're 64 today. Quite low.
Is that low for us?
It is. Typically we're sitting in the 80s.
Right, okay. So we generally have quite high humidity, which means that our ability to dry is a lot harder. Also, if you're in cold conditions, like the US now is quite cold, I think you're also going to struggle to dry a product. So just remember that our conditions are slightly different than everyone else's, and that's why Pan at the beginning of the video says his humidity, how controlled he is, and with his heat pump and all that kind of stuff. But I think that product dried pretty well. Yeah, would you agree?
I'd agree. Yep. I think that you've come behind, no drying aid, single towel, and there's no streaks on the panel at all.
And I haven't used a drying aid, so that's key thing to think about as well, is that this is a polymer based. People get upset that I want to use a complete cleaner and I want to use a rinseless washers, leaving nothing behind because I want a nice bare surface. Well, I would sort of err on the caution that I would want something left behind that's really minimal, a bit of a polymer, because that's now already on the surface. That's going to give me that little bit of extra protection so that I can come along with my microfiber and dry wipe. I can add a little bit more safety on there by using a drying aid, and I can add a little bit of slickness and gloss, but I think that little bit of extra safety, that little bit of extra protection, that's not going to alter anything, that's not going to last for very long, is a bit of a safety blanket that I would rather prefer, rather than having a pure cleaner where people say they'll leave nothing behind. I think you'd have to be super cautious about your drying aid and be a bit more meticulous around that. Now, people will say, well, when you go out there and you do your big foam cannon wash and you get your cool Instagram shots and then you rinse it all down and then you come along with your dry towel, that's where you're going to induce marring and scratching, which is kind of the same as like a rinseless wash that wouldn't be leaving anything behind. You'd then use your drying aid. So that's an argument either for or against. I don't know what kind of camp you're in, but I can tell you now, Pan's rinseless wash is cleaned really well here. It's dried really easily. The scent's pretty fantastic. I can tell you now the slickness is up there. I think Pan has created quite a good rinseless wash. You need to try it though. Okay, so the dirtiest part on the whole car is probably the windscreen. I'm going to struggle to show you dirt, but I don't know. Can you see my smoothie shake that I had in this one?
Oh, inside.
Yeah, inside.
It's like he was out on the windscreen.
And
I'm going to spray the hood as well. Have a good play with this.
Do the whole hood?
Yeah.
And I mean, this is just a little example of how easy it is at cleaning. This isn't the, you know, the muddiest of cars. We're not going to see how well this totally cleans a dirty car, but it's just a little bit of something extra just for people to see that it actually has done some cleaning. I don't know, where are some things? There, go for this one here. There's a little bit of something there and there's a little bit of something there.
Okay.
So, where is it? I probably can't show you on the camera. Where is it? This there? See that little?
Yep.
And there's another one just there.
About to catch it.
So one wipe. Oh, you almost got it. You need to go back again. There you go, gone. People say, that's not dirt. There's not enough dirt there.
If that's not dirt,
Well,
I don't
we
know
told
what
you
it
at the
is.
beginning of the car's clean, so
Yeah.
take it easy, mate.
So I can't
Oh,
judge.
there's another one. There's another little speck of dirt.
Oh yeah, right there. That's an easy one to see.
What's that? That's like pollen that's baked on there.
It is.
So it's still there.
Yeah, well I didn't get in the first go, but that's quite well baked on.
I can tell you now that these sort of top rinseless washers, they're really good at removing baked on bugs and grime and stuff that you get on the front bumper. They clean really fantastically. We will show you how well this does clean the microfiber. We typically leave that at the end of the video so that you guys have to watch some of the video before we show you the gold.
I thought it didn't get the dirt, but
Oh no, it's a stone chip.
that's not dirt.
That's what happens when you have a car from 2007, you know, that's done like 180 kilometers.
This definitely has slickness to it. Partly, like, it's a tough one, right? Because I can say that on this, whereas we could take it on that car that doesn't have ceramic coating on, and we will get slightly different feel, characteristics, results out of it.
You have to put the rinseless washers side by side,
You
because
do.
I've felt something going, man, that's real slick, and then I put it up against another one, and I'm going, it's just as slick.
Yep.
So it can be quite deceiving, and I understand that people won't have that ability to go side by side. People are just going by their personal opinion, but
I can definitely say this is, on this car, slick.
so we've let this dry on the surface a little bit. It's not quite dry, but what I want to show you is the polymer spots that are left behind. Now these polymer spots are like little circles. Other rinseless washers like Finlab leave big ugly things and quite a lot of run down the paint, no, not down the paint, on the surface. And these will be pretty easy to remove, so I reckon just a couple of wipes off, and there you are.
There's no drying aid, no additional product on that towel.
Nothing on there.
Pretty much streak free there too. So they're really easy to remove those. I think you could easily use this product without...
I don't know, here's some more. These ones here are a bit, I don't know, would you say worse? I wouldn't
say worse, actually. Look at these ones in the corner here. Really hard.
It's hard to show them on the paint. That's why I do it on the glass, because it's easy to film, but they rub out just as easy.
I'll show these ones. I think we can see these ones here. Wait. Oh no, you've gone on the...
Gone on the light?
Yeah, try that now. There you go.
How's that?
These ones here.
And imagine if you'd gone all the way around the car, you got the whole car wet, and you came to this point and you looked at it and went, oh man, Pan's absolutely ruined my car. Just remember, they're just polymer spots. They're encapsulated minerals and they wipe off nice and cleanly. If you had some hard boys on there, then you could reactivate it with your Rinseless, or you could get your drying aid and they just rub out. So for those of you who watch quite a lot of our Rinseless wash videos, you understand that we sort of name this the Eddy test. Now, everyone knows that we want to see how well the Rinseless wash does at pulling dirt and grime out of the microfiber, because that sort of gives us an indication of how well it is at cleaning. And so we named this the Eddy test, where we got the white microfiber, we'd rub it in a whole heap of dirt, dunk it in, pull it out and see what we got. And if you've watched our SEMA video, you'll see us present Eddy with his own sort of Eddy test microfiber with his big grin on there and some other cool things. He's super stoked about that. But what we usually do is we usually use a white microfiber, so you can see this. Glenn's given me like the Simpsons color one right here.
It's already a little bit dirty.
And it's already a little dirty, so I'll show you for reference.
Okay, yeah.
That's what's on that side.
Flip it.
And that's what's on that side.
Okay, so we're a little bit dirty already.
So I reckon this is the side I'll go for, eh?
Okay, yep.
So get a little wet, get a little bit of stuff on there, you know.
All right.
So what side was it? That side? You look like that?
Yep.
Go hundo in the wheel well. I have been going quite aggressive.
You've been going really aggressive.
And you've been telling me off about it.
Do you know where we probably should be collecting the dirt from? Maybe the wheel face itself, but...
Maybe. So there we are, we happy? There's a bit of dirt on there?
Yep, bit of dirt on there.
Let's take these sponges out. Nothing official about this and nothing scientific, but I just kind of dunk it in there. Get it all soaked, give it a couple of rubberoonies.
We do a bit more than a one dunk in here, because this is a unscientific test. We want to see the cleaning ability.
Everyone knows the rules with the one dunk, but we don't actually have the...
We're not washing the car right now.
We don't actually have the mitt for the one dunk, because we need to use Eddy's sponge because it's a clear colour. Right.
Is that the right side? Turn it around so the audience know you're not cheating. Ah, yep, that's the right side. Flick it back, flick it back.
Flick it back?
That's good. That is really good.
Shall I go again?
Yeah, go one more dunk and let's see if we can pull a bit more of that out. Keeping in mind that was already pretty stained.
Sort of like at the Flash restaurant, you know, where you get your napkin out and you put it over your shirt that costs $10 from Kmart.
Yeah, that's pulled out even a bit more. I think it passes the Eddy test.
So there you go. So what's happening there is we've got the dirt and grime on our microfiber from doing the sort of wiperoonie on here, and then we put it in the bucket. You would typically, people want to call this the one dunk, and that Rinseless wash is pulling the dirt and grime out of the microfiber, so we have a relatively clean surface now to come along. Our wash meter's clean and wipe the next panel of the vehicle. Okay, so there you have it. We have just tested out clean by Pan, his Rinseless wash, and I think without doing a massive comparison and a big chart where you give things ones and twos for everything, so far he's got a scent that is really impressive. I don't think you'll be let down by the scent. The slickness is pretty good. It's up there with some of the top ones that I've used. We've seen it dry and produce the water spot, not the water spots, the polymer spots. We saw that wiped off nice and cleanly. The polymer spots are not as aggressive as some of the others we've seen. It dried pretty easily, so I think it ticks all the boxes there. This is a really, really, really good Rinseless wash. Pan, I'm not sure if it's the best of the best, but you've got some good proprietary blends in here, may I add. And so Glenn and I will sit down, we'll create a spreadsheet, we'll make a video where we compare all of them. But Pan, I think we need to chat about this because this is a really good product. I think we could see you in the top sort of 1, 2s and 3s with this product. That is it from Omni Garage. So give us a big thumbs up, comment in the video because you know that we reply back. We have some good discussions. We've got a couple of mates that hang out in our chat that like to talk to us, and definitely Joe from the US. I think you live in Colorado. You are the man, and I do know that someone has written back to you about how long your comments are. I think you should really push the boat and see how big you can write a comment on this video. But Joe, we really love you. We like the support, and everyone else who's commented in there has given us some really good things. We take it all on board and we do listen, and you can tell that things that you said a couple of weeks ago, you start to see back in the videos. One of them was how easy it is at drying, and so that was something that sort of hasn't really crossed our mind, but that came from our viewers and that came from the comments. So drop a comment if you want to hang out, chat with us. Glenn and I, we always are answering the comments, and definitely when we have a bit of downtime, we love to sort of ask what other people are using so that we get a bit of idea about what products we should be trying. So that's a great way to communicate with us. But that's it from Omni Garage. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.